A young girl, and Nan, 7 years old, clutches her mother's hand amid the rush of travelers. Her wide eyes scan the crowd. Above each head floats a glowing number, like a digital clock counting down lifespans. Most show thousands of days. But as they board the plane, Nan freezes. Every passenger, every crew member, zeros hover above them all. She tugs her mother's sleeve urgently. Mom, zeros. Everyone has zero. Her mother pales, glancing around. Chaos erupts as she shouts warnings. Dismissed as hysterical, they're dragged off the flight. Minutes later, news breaks. The plane crashes on takeoff. No survivors. Nan stares at the TV screen in shock. What if her gift could save more lives, or uncover darker secrets? In a quiet suburban home, young Nan lived a life shadowed by an inexplicable ability. From as early as she could remember, numbers floated above people's heads like ethereal timers, counting down the days, hours, sometimes minutes left in their lives. At first, she thought everyone saw them, but a confused teacher and worried parents taught her otherwise. It was her secret, her burden. Nan's mother, Lee, a single parent working 2 jobs, noticed her daughter's strange stares early on. "What do you see, sweetie?" she asked one evening while braiding Nan's hair. "Numbers, Mom. Above heads. Yours is big, lots of days." Lee smiled uneasily, dismissing it as imagination. But Nan's predictions soon proved real. A neighbor with a low number passed away days later. Lee began to believe, vowing to protect her daughter from a world that wouldn't understand. Nan's stepmother, May, entered their lives soon after, beautiful, ambitious, with a daughter named Lily. May tolerated Nan but favored Lily, her numbers always high and safe. Nan saw something off about May, a flickering zero on rare days, like a warning glitch. As Nan grew, so did her fear. What if she saw a zero above someone she loved? The new house in the quiet suburb felt like a fresh start after the airport tragedy. Lee had chosen it carefully. Small yard, good school district, far from reporters who still occasionally called asking about the little girl who predicted the crash. Nan, now 8, had grown quieter since that day. She rarely spoke about the numbers unless pressed, but they never stopped appearing. Every morning she watched her mother get ready for work. Lee's number hovered high, around 28,000 days, steady and comforting. May's number, however, flickered strangely, sometimes normal, 15,000 plus, sometimes dropping to single digits for a heartbeat before snapping back. And never told anyone. She wasn't sure what the flicker meant, only that it made her stomach twist. At school, Nan kept to herself. She avoided looking directly at classmates for too long. Their numbers were usually bright and long. But once she saw a boy with only 47 days left. She didn't know him well. 3 weeks later, he didn't come back. Car accident. Nan cried herself to sleep that night, whispering to her pillow, "I should have said something." Lee noticed the change. One evening while washing dishes, she knelt beside Nan at the table. "Sweetheart, you've been so quiet. Is it the numbers again?" Nan nodded slowly. "They're always there, Mom, even when I close my eyes." Lee dried her hands and sat beside her. "Do you see anything bad right now?" Then glanced toward the living room where May was laughing with Lily on the couch. May's number, it goes up and down, like it can't decide. Lee frowned. "Maybe it's nothing. Maybe your gift is still learning." But Nan saw the worry in her mother's eyes. Lee had started keeping a small notebook. Dates, names, numbers Nan whispered when she felt something urgent. She never dismissed Nan again. That night, Nan dreamed of zeros floating like black balloons over an entire school. She woke gasping, heart racing. Outside her window, the moon was full and cold. The news footage of the crashed plane played on loop for weeks. Lee muted the TV whenever Nan entered the room, but the images lingered in Nan's mind. Smoke, twisted metal, families weeping at the airport. She replayed the moment she had tried to warn them. The laughter, the security guards pulling her mother away. May used the incident against them. At dinner one night, she set her fork down sharply. You two almost ruined our reputation. People are still whispering about the crazy woman on the plane. Lily's friends' parents asked questions. They kept her voice calm. We survived. That's what matters. May's smile was thin. Survived because you caused a scene, not because of some child's imagination. Nan stared at her plate. May's number flickered again, down to 3, then back up. Nan pushed her chair back and ran to her room. Lee followed moments later. She sat on the edge of the bed. Don't listen to her. She doesn't understand. Nan looked up, eyes wet. What if I see 0 on you, Mom? Or Dad? Or anyone? Lee pulled her close. Then we'll face it together. Your gift isn't a curse, it's a warning. And warnings can save lives. Nan nodded against her mother's shoulder, but the fear stayed. Every time she looked at May or Lily, she braced herself for the flicker to become permanent. The kindergarten talent show became the bright spot in Nan's routine. She practiced a simple ribbon dance with Lily, though Lily always took center stage. Nan didn't mind. She liked the way the ribbons made soft whooshing sounds when she twirled. The week before the show, Nan began noticing something odd. During rehearsals, certain teachers and parents had numbers that dropped sharply when they stood near the stage. Not 0, not yet, but low enough to make her palms sweat. She told Lee that night while brushing her teeth. Mom, the talent show. Some people have low numbers when they're near the stage. Lee froze, toothbrush in hand. How low? Like under 100, and it gets lower every day. Lee set the toothbrush down. We'll watch carefully. If it gets worse, we act. Nan nodded, but sleep didn't come easily. She dreamed again of fire, of children screaming, of a plush toy sitting innocently on the stage. The morning of the show, Nan woke with a pounding heart. She looked in the mirror, no number above her own head. She never saw her own, but everyone else's was already dropping. The kindergarten gymnasium buzzed with excitement. Parents adjusted cameras. Children fidgeted in costumes. Teachers rushed around with clipboards. Nan stood near the back row with Lee, scanning the room. 0s everywhere. Above the principal, the teachers, the parents, the children, 0 after 0 after 0. Nan's knees buckled. She grabbed Lee's hand. Mom, all 0s. Right now. Everyone. Lee's face went white. She scanned the room, then looked at Nan. What do you feel? What's going to happen? Nan closed her eyes, concentrating. Flashes came. Bright light, loud boom, screams, smoke pouring from the stage. A bomb, she whispered. On the stage. In something soft like a toy. Lee didn't hesitate. She marched straight to the principal. We need to evacuate. Now. The principal laughed nervously. Mrs. Lee, we've had this conversation before. Lee stepped closer, voice low and urgent. My daughter knows things. She saved us from a plane crash. She's seeing danger right now. Check the stage. Please. The principal hesitated, then sighed. Fine. Fire drill. Everyone out calmly. Children grumbled but followed teachers outside. Nan stayed close to Lee, pointing subtly. There, the teddy bear on the prop table. Lee nodded. She approached the teacher. That bear, can I see it? Confused, the teacher handed it over. Lee felt the weight too heavy. She tore at the seam. Inside, wires, a small timer, a detonator. Parents gasped. Someone screamed. Lee ran with the bear toward the far end of the parking lot, hurling it into an empty dumpster area just as the timer hit 0. The explosion shook the ground. Flames licked upward, but no one was close enough to be hurt. Nan ran to her mother, throwing her arms around her. You did it! Lee held her tightly. We did it! Sirens wailed in the distance. The school was saved, but Nan knew this was only the beginning. Chaos followed the blast. Children cried. Parents shouted questions. Teachers tried to herd everyone to safety. Police cars screeched into the lot, lights flashing. Firefighters arrived moments later. The principal approached Lee, pale and shaking. How did you know? Lee glanced at Nan, who clung to her leg. My daughter, she sees things others don't. The principal stared at Nan with new eyes, part awe, part fear. She's special. Police took statements. Lee kept Nan's ability vague. A mother's intuition. But one detective lingered, watching Nan closely. Kid's got a gift, he muttered to his partner. In the aftermath, the bear was confirmed as an improvised explosive device. Sophisticated. Meant to detonate during the finale when everyone was closest to stage. That night, back home, Lee sat Nan on the couch. You saved over 100 people today. Then looked down at her hands. But why would someone want to hurt kids? Lee had no answer. She only held her daughter closer. May arrived home late, face tight with anger. The whole town is talking. Lily's traumatized. This is your fault. Lee stood. No, the bomber's fault, not Nan's. May's eyes narrowed. That girl is dangerous. She sees things no one else does. Nan watched silently. May's number flickered again, lower this time. Almost 0. Something cold settled in Nan's chest. The danger wasn't over. IT was just beginning. The police cordoned off the kindergarten playground for days. Investigators combed through debris, interviewed every parent and teacher, and traced the bomb's components to a black market supplier. The official story became a targeted attack on the school, but no motive or suspect emerged publicly. Lee kept the USB drive she had quietly pocketed from the bear's remains. That night, after May and Lily went to bed, she and Nan sat at the kitchen table with the laptop screen glowing in the dark. Lee hesitated before clicking play. Are you sure you want to see this, Nan? Nan nodded solemnly. I need to know. The grainy video began. A dimly lit living room. Nan's biological mother, younger than Nan remembered from photos, argued with May. Words were muffled at first, then sharpened. You think you can just take my place? Nan's mother said, voice shaking. My husband, my daughter. May laughed coldly. You're in the way. Always have been. A shove. Nan's mother stumbled backward, hit her head on the corner of a coffee table. She crumpled. May stood over her, breathing hard, then looked directly at the hidden camera, Lily's old nanny cam, forgotten in the chaos. May whispered to herself, it's done. The video ended. Nan's small hands clenched into fists. Tears streamed down her face. She killed her. My real mom. Lee pulled Nan into her lap, rocking her gently. I'm so sorry, baby. I suspected May for years, but I had no proof. Until now. Nan wiped her eyes. What do we do? Lee stared at the frozen screen. We wait. We gather more. And when the time is right, we make sure everyone sees the truth. Outside the kitchen window, May stood in the shadows of the hallway, listening. Her face was unreadable, but her number, now permanently low, flickered like a dying bulb. Lee called her own mother, Nan's grandmother, early the next morning. Grandma arrived by afternoon, carrying only a worn leather satchel and an aura of quiet strength. She had always been the family's keeper of old stories, the one who spoke of ancestors with second sight. Grandma knelt in front of Nan in the living room while he watched from the doorway. Your gift isn't random, child, Grandma said softly. It runs in our blood. But seeing death coming is only half the power. The other half is protecting life. Nan looked up. How? Grandma placed both hands on Nan's shoulders. She closed her eyes and murmured words in an old dialect Nan didn't understand. A warm sensation spread through Nan's body, like sunlight moving under her skin. When Grandma opened her eyes, she smiled. Try lifting the couch. Nan hesitated, then gripped the edge of the living room sofa. With a small grunt, she lifted it, easily, as though it weighed nothing. The couch hovered a foot off the ground before she gently set it down. Grandma nodded. Herculean strength. It will last only as long as you need it. To protect those you love. When the danger passes, it will fade. Lee stepped forward, voice trembling. Mother, thank you. Grandma looked at her daughter seriously. Use this carefully. Strength without wisdom is dangerous. And May, she's not finished. Nan flexed her small hands, feeling the new power humming inside her. I won't let her hurt anyone else. Grandma hugged her tightly. That's my brave girl. The next weeks were tense. May grew colder, watching Nan with suspicion. Lily, oblivious, chattered about her upcoming birthday party. May's grand celebration plan for the mansion she convinced Nan's father to rent for the occasion. Lee and Nan used the time wisely. Lee made copies of the USB video, hid backups in safe places, and quietly contacted a trusted journalist friend. Nan practiced her strength in secret, bending metal spoons back into shape, lifting the dining table one-handed, learning control. One evening, Lee sat with Nan on her bed. The party is in 2 weeks. That's when we'll show everyone. The video will play on the big screen during the cake cutting. Nan nodded. What if May tries to stop us? Lee touched Nan's cheek. That's why you have your strength. But we don't want violence. We want truth. Nan looked at the ceiling. Mom, what if Dad doesn't believe us? Lee sighed. He will. Deep down, he's always known something was wrong with May. We just have to help him see. Nan whispered, I'm scared. Lee hugged her. So am I. But we're together. That's enough. Outside the door, May listened again. This time, her smile was thin and cold. The rented mansion glittered with lights and flowers. Guests in elegant clothes filled the ballroom. Lily twirled in her princess dress, while May played perfect hostess. Nan's father, Mr. Lee, smiled proudly, unaware of the storm brewing. Nan stayed close to Lee, her small hand in her mother's. Her strength hung beneath her skin, ready. As the cake was wheeled out and candles lit, May raised a glass for a toast. To my beautiful daughter Lily and the family. Lee nodded to the AV technician, a friend she had paid quietly. The lights dimmed. Instead of birthday music, the video began. The room fell silent as Nan's biological mother appeared on the massive screen, arguing with May. The shove. The fall. The whispered, "It's done." Gasps rippled through the crowd. May's face drained of color. "Turn it off," she screamed. But the technician had already locked the controls. Nan stepped forward into the spotlight. Her voice, small but clear, cut through the murmurs. "You killed my real mom, and you tried to kill us at the talent show." May lunged toward Nan, fury twisting her face. "You little freak." Nan didn't flinch. She caught May's wrist midair, her small hand like iron. May gasped in pain and surprise as Nan held her effortlessly. Guests backed away. Mr. Lee stared, stunned. Nan looked at her father, tears in her eyes. "It's true, Dad. She killed my mom, and she's been lying to you." Security, already tipped off by Lee, rushed in. May struggled, but Nan's grip held until officers took over. Cuffs clicked around May's wrists. Mr. Lee walked slowly to Nan, knelt, and pulled her into his arms. "I'm so sorry," he whispered. "I didn't see." Nan hugged him back. "It's okay now." Police swarmed the mansion. May, still screaming denials, was dragged away. Guests whispered in shock. Phones recorded everything. But the danger wasn't over. Mr. Lee's phone buzzed with an anonymous text. "Your wife talked. The lab is coming for the girl. Run." Lee grabbed Nan's hand. "We have to go." Mr. Lee nodded, face grim. "My car, back exit." They slipped through service corridors while chaos reigned in the ballroom. Outside, black SUVs waited, men in tactical gear stepping out. Nan's strength surged. She flipped a heavy metal dumpster into the path of the first vehicle, blocking it. Tires screeched. "Go!" she yelled. Lee and Mr. Lee ran with her toward the woods behind the property. Gunshots cracked behind them, warning shots, not aimed yet. They reached Grandma's old car hidden in the trees. Lee's backup plan. Tires spun as they peeled away. In the back seat, Nan pressed her face to the window, watching the mansion lights fade. "Are we safe now?" Lee looked back at her. "Not yet, but we will be." Mr. Lee gripped the wheel. "I've been blind too long. No more." The car disappeared into the night, carrying a family finally united against the darkness that had hidden in plain sight. The safe house Grandma had prepared was a modest cabin on the outskirts of the city, far from prying eyes, hidden among dense trees. Lee, Mr. Lee, and Nan arrived just before dawn, hearts still pounding from the escape. Grandma waited on the porch with a lantern, her face calm but eyes sharp. Inside, they collapsed onto worn couches. Nan's small body trembled with exhaustion, but her grip on her mother's hand never loosened. Mr. Lee paced, phone in hand. "I've already contacted my lawyer and the police commissioner I trust. May's husband, the one who ran the virus lab. He's the key. If he's behind the bomb, the lab, everything, we end this tonight." Lee nodded. "The journalist has the video. It's going public at 8 a.m. unless we stop it." Nan looked up. "What if he comes here?" Grandma placed a gentle hand on Nan's head. "He won't find us easily. But if he does, you have what you need." Nan flexed her fingers. The Herculean strength still hummed beneath her skin, warm, steady, like a second heartbeat. At 6:47 a.m., tires crunched on the gravel outside. Black vans, armed men in tactical gear spilled out, more than a dozen. Mr. Lee's face hardened. "They found us." Lee pulled Nan behind her. "Stay close." The front door shattered inward. Men poured in, weapons raised. Nan stepped forward. "Stop." One man laughed. "Little girl." Nan moved faster than anyone expected. She grabbed the nearest metal chair and hurled it like a discus, crashing into 3 men and sending them sprawling. Another raised his gun, then closed the distance in a blink, twisting the barrel upward with impossible strength. The shot went into the ceiling. Grandma shouted, "Now!" Lee and Mr. Lee fought beside her. Lee with fireplace poker, Mr. Lee with sheer determination. But Nan was a storm. She flipped a heavy wooden table into the doorway, blocking reinforcements. She disarmed 2 more men, bending their rifles into useless curves. The leader, the man May's husband had sent, stared in disbelief. "What the hell are you?" Nan's voice was small but unbreakable. "I'm the girl who sees when people die. And today it's not us." Sirens wailed in the distance, police finally arriving. The remaining attackers fled or surrendered. Nan stood in the center of the wrecked living room, breathing hard, strength still coursing through her. Mr. Lee knelt beside her. "You saved us again." Then looked at him with tired eyes. "I just wanted us to be safe." The raid on the virus lab happened at sunrise. Police, armed with warrants and the journalists' leaked footage, stormed the facility. Vats of illegal pathogens, blueprints for more bombs, financial records tying May's husband to both the talent show attack and the earlier plane sabotage, all exposed. May's husband was arrested on the tarmac of a private airstrip, trying to flee the country. May, already in custody, broke down during interrogation, confessing to murder of Nan's biological mother and conspiring with her husband to eliminate threats to their new life. By noon, the story dominated every news channel. Headlines screamed, "Child with supernatural gift exposes murder and terrorism ring." But Nan didn't see any of it. After the fight at the cabin, she collapsed into a deep, dreamless sleep that lasted nearly 3 days. Lee and Mr. Lee never left her side, taking turns holding her hand. When she finally woke, sunlight streamed through the cabin window. She blinked slowly, looking around. "Mom!" Lee rushed to her, tears in her eyes. "I'm here, baby." Nan sat up, rubbing her eyes. She looked at her mother, then at Mr. Lee standing in the doorway. "The numbers, they're gone." Lee's breath caught. "What do you mean?" Nan stared at their heads. No glowing timers, no countdowns. Just ordinary faces filled with love and worry. "They're not there anymore," she whispered. "I can't see them." Grandma entered quietly, smiling softly. "Your task is finished, child. The danger is over. The gift was given for a season, to protect, to reveal, to heal. Now it's time to live without it." Nan's lip trembled. "Am I normal now?" Lee hugged her tightly. "You were always normal. The numbers were just something extra. You're still my brave, beautiful girl." Nan looked at Mr. Lee. "And you're my dad?" He knelt, voice thick. "I always was. I just didn't know how to be one until now." Nan smiled, small, tired but real. "Okay." A week later, a sleek black car pulled up to Grandma's cabin. A tall, distinguished man in his 50s stepped out. Mr. Chun, one of the city's wealthiest philanthropists. His eyes were kind but filled with years of quiet grief. We stood on the porch, Nan at her side. Mr. Chun approached slowly, stopping a respectful distance away. "Lee," he said softly. "Nan." Lee's voice shook. "You found us." Mr. Chin nodded. "I've been searching for years. Your mother, she hid you both to protect you from my enemies. From people like May's husband." He looked at Nan. "You're my daughter. I didn't know until recently, when the news broke about the girl who sees death. Your mother's letter arrived after she passed. She wanted you safe, but she wanted you to know the truth one day. Nan stepped forward. You're my real dad? Mr. Chen knelt to her level. Yes, and I've missed you every single day. I didn't know you existed. He opened a small box. Inside was a photo of a young girlie holding baby Nan, and a necklace with a tiny heart pendant. Nan touched it gently. Mom wore this in pictures. Mr. Chen smiled through tears. She wanted you to have it. Lee wiped her eyes. What happens now? Mr. Chen stood. Whatever you want, but I'd like to be part of her life. If you allow it, both of you. Nan looked at Lee, then back at Mr. Chen. Can we have a birthday party? A real one. Mr. Chen laughed softly. The biggest one you've ever seen. The birthday celebration was held at Mr. Chen's estate. Simple yet warm, with paper lanterns, a small band, and a cake taller than Nan. No press, no cameras, just family, Grandma, a few trusted friends, and the people who had fought beside them. Sha, no longer just Nan's father, but Dad, stood beside Mr. Chen, the two men who now shared her heart. Lee watched from the side, smiling as Nan blew out candles, then made her wish silently. No more zeros. Just tomorrow, after the cake, she walked to the garden with Mr. Chen. He sat on a bench beside her. You don't have to call me Dad if you're not ready, he said, then leaned against him. I think I am. He wrapped an arm around her shoulders. Then I'm the luckiest man alive. Later, Nan stood on the balcony overlooking the city lights. Lee joined her. Do you miss seeing the numbers? Lee asked. Nan thought for a moment. A little, but I like this better. Seeing people, not just how long they have. Lee kissed her forehead. You saved so many lives, Nan. Now you get to live yours. Nan smiled up at her. With you, and Dad, and Grandpa Chen, and Grandma. Lee laughed softly. That's a lot of family. Nan nodded. That's perfect. The city sparkled below. No countdowns, no warnings. Just lights, laughter, and the quiet promise of tomorrow.